you start to trust, then after a while, that belief starts building into trust. You start to trust that this certain thing is going to go a certain way. This is what 15 represents, that the symmetry, essentially, that comes out of the foundation is going to sustain you, essentially, and sustain your beliefs, and sustain your hope, and sustain you. But like in any project, when you get to the fourth stage, the cracks start to appear, and you can see some things that weren't quite there before, and now you're seeing, and they're not quite integrated in the way that you thought or would hope. One can see and learn of one's imperfections, so to speak, in that regard. But also one can see the glories. If one is close to Jehovah and Jehovah's kingdom and moving forward, then the fruits that are being reaped are basically an enhancement of reality, the enhancement of the reapings that one receives. The aim of 15 is toward the ideal, which it will get to eventually. I mean, the ideal is going to come up again, but first it has to, we have to work out the symmetry, because while 15 is the symmetry that comes out of the foundation and it's underneath the cosmos, which is step 4, the fifth one, which is Eo, which has to do with the inner foundation. The fifth step here is number 16, which is the Otia in Samoan, which is water. And what does that mean? What does water mean? Well, we know what water is. Water can soothe, it nurtures, it washes clean. But it also is an element of symmetry, a very strong element of symmetry. And we know this in streams that cut through land, just as one example. Well, with 15 is you have the symmetry that comes out of the foundation, but that's wind, and wind is very subtle, recall. But one has trust that it's going to, that I trust in my interpretation of reality. I certainly believe in it. I have hope, and it's going to, I'll be okay on account of that. But it's subtle still in 15, and in 16 is more densified, shall we say. Because one of the things that water does is we know here in corporea, is that it precipitates. It descends downward. And so we could say it moves toward the earth, toward densification, toward that which is lower, towards the foundation, we could even say. Number 16, which is Iotia, which represents water. Well, it's the ideal, or the music, the flow that comes out of the foundation. That's what 16, one of the things that 16 represents. And it's moving toward, the aim is towards fullness. It's movement toward an extreme, as it were. Although we need to understand that extremes are not necessarily bad, extremes can be good. You can have certainly bad extremes, but you can have good extremes too. Being good all the time, that's an extreme compared to, well, at this time, unfortunately, and perhaps the bulk of humanity, we can be extremely good, and that's good. And you might think, well, no, it's not good, because if you're extremely good, people come and rip you off and all that stuff. Well, it depends upon where your faith is, isn't it? And what your foundation is. And so one of the things that 16 represents is faith. We started with man. Man did his labor, got hope, built belief, trust, and now something deeper yet, faith, more substantial. Faith in doing the right thing and knowing that one is doing the right thing, that good will come of it, that it's the right thing to do, and that the harvest that comes from that will be a good harvest, ultimately, because it's for the Creator. And if done for His purposes, through Him, which is to say through His direct inspiration, and in conjunction with Jehovah's kingdom, as one attains to that, this then represents, in a sense, because it's 16, being the fifth, this represents the inner foundation for man, faith. The water is a symbol, a representative of this. It's more than just a symbol, a representative. It's an essence of that. The water is very potent. There's other things that go with 16. What 16 actually has going for it then is it's a regenerative, it has this regenerative effect, and it regenerates the sustaining of the good that's in creation. In other words, you start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the first 8 in Samoin, and 8th being Eoi, which represents the order and system and regeneration in the field after the collapse. And then you have the next set of 8, which is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 9 being the sustaining of the good, which is Eloi. So here we have 16, which is faith. And where do we go from here? And faith being the inner foundation of man. And so we get some objectivity of that in number 17, which is the next step, which is light, which is dang in Samoin. 17, Samoin, so light is the ideal. Okay, it's the 6th one underneath, it comes underneath Hoi. Hoi is the ideal, and dang is the objectivity. It's underneath the lower objectivity, but still an objectivity. An objectivity, an abstraction. An objectivity or abstraction of the ideal as insofar as man is concerned. And so light represents like the ideal for man. So let's look at the progress of man. So man is who he is. He is, I am what I am, and I will be a light of Jehovah, ultimately. So we start and we have hope in our labor with the Uga, number 13, number 14. We have our belief, and we know what the all highest is and all that in 14. So then we go to 15, which is the wind, and it has to do with trust and the subtlety of creation and synthesis of the all highest. And then we have faith is developed, but with 17, with light, comes knowing. I know. So to know something, To actually know it so as to articulate it is better than just to have faith in something. It's stronger than just having faith. Even as having faith is better than having trust, it's stronger than having trust, which is stronger than just having belief, which is stronger than just having hope. So man builds from hope to belief to trust to faith to knowing. Hope, belief, trust, faith, knowing. That's his 5. That's the yayo, the inner foundation. In a sense, we can think of those as 5 building blocks for man as he develops, as he goes forward, because those are the first 5 steps within man as he proceeds in his understanding of the universe, in his experience with the universe, in his interaction with the universe, in his exchange with the universe. So then we come to number 18 next. And we'll talk about that next time.